Have you guys ever played a game you were really excited for, but you just had some thing going on in your life and it negatively impacted your experience with the game? Or how about the opposite, where everything was just awesome and you just go to the GameStop and you pick up a random game because it looks cool. You know, you drop the $60 on it and you take it home and it's, better than you could ever have imagined. Would you ever go back and give that other game you didn't enjoy another shot? Now, I've definitely had both of these circumstances happen to me, and as much as I'd like to recall every game I've ever played, and then remember the mental state I was in when I played that game, and also where I was in my life at that point, it's just not going to happen. Now, that's a pretty big undertaking to do. And let's face it, I'm not going to do that. So, I tried to boil down the late 90s into two games that really just define them. And that is FF7 and Ocarina of Time. And I put out a survey asking about your guys' experience with those games. Now, judging from my YouTube demographics, I can gather most of you watching this channel are around the same age as me. So when we played these games for the first time, we were probably in elementary and middle school. So from the looks of things, both these games have left a really positive impact on your life, no matter what was going on, either negative or positive. And for me, FF7 really left a positive impact on me because at that time my parents had just finalized their divorce, and it was definitely a challenge adjusting to this new lifestyle. Now, I had a PS1 prior to this, and I had played FF7 at a friend's house, and I even borrowed a copy from a friend at one point, but it wasn't until after the divorce that I got a copy of the game for myself. And what I wanted to ask is, when you guys go through and play these games, do you ever get reminded of that time in your life back in elementary school or middle school or high school for a few of you? And for me, it really doesn't work like that. I can remember playing FF7, and what I'm really reminded of is being sucked into the world, because that was the first time I'd ever played a 3D game with such a rich and interactive world. Whereas Ocarina of Time, it was kind of a similar circumstance. I had played it at a friend's house, and I'd borrowed a 64 and a copy from a friend, but I didn't own a 64 for myself till much later when I was in high school, and by then I had already gotten used to the lifestyle of having to be at my mom's during the week and then my dad's every other weekend. So I wanted to ask this question to you guys on what games have you played where life experiences have affected your experience with the game, whether it be positive or negative. For me, one of the biggest ones in recent memory was the first time I moved in with roommates. And prior to that, since I've been on my own, I've only lived with one other roommate. It was either my friend Twan, which you guys might remember from my fighting game videos with Capcom vs. SNK and Marvel 3, or I was living with my wife. Now, the first time we moved in with 4 other roommates, it was a challenge to play games. It was hard to relax and just enjoy a game because everything just gets so stressful. And the games I'd been playing at that point were games like Dragon Age, the Resident Evil 5 DLC, Way of the Samurai 3, and I had access to an Xbox for the first time, so I got to try Ninja Gaiden 2 and Lost Odyssey. And I just really didn't enjoy my time with these games. And even Demon's Souls was on that list. I just couldn't relax and get into that mindset where it's alright, I want to play this game. And even afterwards, when we moved out after only 4 months, the games I'd played afterwards that were single player, like FF13, I just didn't enjoy. And I've come to terms with Dragon Age and RE5. I've played them since, and my mind is set and made up on how I feel about those games. And same with Demon Souls. I played that game again 3 years after living in that house, and I really enjoyed and had a blast with it. But I have not played Way of the Samurai 3 or FF13 since, and I feel that those games deserve another shot. Because, like I said, living under stress and you don't enjoy the hobby you've had for 20 some odd years, it's just not going to cut it for you. So I want to ask you guys if there's any games where you feel like you should give another shot to, or to give another shot at, because of something going on in your life. So let me know in the comments below what games you guys would give another shot to if given the opportunity. And if you hit subscribe, you'll know when the follow-up video of this is released. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you next week.